Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the stream today. We are here. We are live on YouTube and Twitch to watch tonight's episode of Big Brother 27, the Rachel HOH episode. I was just watching Rachel talk to Lauren. Jordan, thank you for the 63rd. Wait, where? Yeah, I was very busy today. I only just managed to take a shower. What's up with my clock? That's a good question. What is up with my clock? I spent a huge portion of the day doing episode 1 of Australian Survivor versus the World for Patreon, which is currently exporting and should be up by the time we finish the watch party and or podcast. So very excited about that. Let me see if I can fix my clock here. Basically, what the videos are, it will be the full episode along with me on top of it, watching it, doing commentary, stuff like that. Okay, let's see. Why is this wrong? And how do I reset it? I don't know. Well, that's not the one. Hold on. Refresh. Nope. Thank you for the subscriptions. What if I did like... Honestly, it's done this before. And it usually just fixes itself. So we're just going to have to go clockless today. What did I think of the premiere? I thought it was amazing. I thought it was a very good premiere, Australia versus the world. Very excited to watch more of it. I had a fun time doing the reaction video. It's basically a lot of it is me being like giddy about the fact that I'm watching good players. Just like, oh man, look at this thing Sareed is doing. It's very smart. But yes, that is exporting now. So if you head over to the Patreon, should be up by tonight for sure. Australia versus the world. Parvati, Suri, Tony are all on it. Very exciting stuff. Yeah, strategy and gameplay do in fact exist. Yeah, Lauren very much. You can literally. She was like, I like to look at the memory wall when I do this, and then turn the screen to the memory wall and is just staring at it as per usual as she's trying to talk to Rachel. Do I still watch A&W? Not really. Not really. Jane, thank you for the 31st. 30 in a row. And Lori with 52. I appreciate that. American Ninja Warrior. Yeah, you should be able to read the book on Kindle. Things still currently leaning to Lauren not using the veto, including, I would say, what I heard from this conversation prior to starting the stream. But I don't think it's a guarantee by any means. I think it's still... Vinny basically still has to make another push. Thank you for ordering a book, Lindsay. Melvin with $5 over on YouTube. A lot of talk about Riley today. Understandably so. I feel like things have escalated. And where before it was already, I think, very irresponsible of the show to portray them as like a wholesome showmance. And now I would say if they continue along those lines, I think it's actually like full on reprehensible. Like, I don't think there's any justifiable reason to not portray the way that he treats her and to act like they're two lovebirds and everything's fine. But like, what I will say, because I mentioned this on the update this morning, it was like, you know, if you find yourself in this situation, obviously these are red flags. You should be ideally removing yourself from the situation. Lacey, thank you for the 1,000 bits. But like, there's a reason that we've been pointing it out from the very start. Because the truth is that by the time you find yourself in the position where you're already starting to get this kind of behavior, where you're getting yelled at and made to feel stupid for minor things, like these are much more obvious red flags. But by the time you get here, it's usually much harder to leave. It's usually like much harder to extricate for yourself. I mean, there's a reason why because, you know, this behavior often shows itself the more comfortable the person feels with your inability to leave. The more they feel they can push you, the more they will. So that's why I think it's so important to recognize these signs early on and to either address them or just leave the situation immediately. Because, you know, when somebody is saying like, oh, I'm in love with you, I would do anything for you, whether you like it or not, like these little things, when they've known you for a few days and they have no idea who you actually are, like that's a red flag for a reason, right? Like this is not somebody that at the very least is like emotionally mature enough to like be in a good relationship with you at the moment, let alone somebody that's, you know, I think capable of, or I mean, you know, you need to sort of challenge them on it, right? Like, and then the deeper it goes, right? Like the signs of like moping when you don't give them what they want, um, all of this stuff, like the love, yeah, the love bombing stuff. It can feel really good. Like that's the thing, you know. You can get love bombed, and it's like, wow, this person's obsessed with me. This is awesome. And then before you know it, you've sort of like been trapped by it, you know? All right. Episode is on. The melting pot.
Vince and Zach.
Meanwhile, Mickey was.
Clock is not working, so I'm going to do an alternate prediction. We're going to go. Does the HOH start? Does the HOH start in this segment in any capacity? So if they even like walk out to the HOH, I'll count it. If they walk out to the HOH and then commercial, I'm counting it. Did I just hear that? I genuinely think that they knew exactly who Riley was when they cast him. I think that they just don't see it as a problem. I think that that has been made clear based on the edits we've gotten so far. And now it's just a matter of like, when are they going to draw their line? What I've seen from Zach so far on social media has been pretty fun. Zach and Jimmy both, actually. She did. You can't argue. That wasn't Diary Room Will. That was House Will. Pollyanna, thank you for the 70th month. Lena, thank you for the 73rd. Was he 2 pieces away? It's the fact that he's in the egg costume doing this. Zach can't leave for no reason. They haven't really shown Mickey going after Rachel yet. That's pretty important to the storyline. How are we going to fit that in? Are they going to make it seem like it was the vote? Okay. We're backfilling. I mean, it's no montage of her doing the M&Ms, which is what I would like to see. Me too. Me too. This has to feel like such whiplash for TV only viewers. Allie, think of the 17th. Render, think of the 14th. Yosa, think of 100. Oh, I feel it stirring. Rachel, the house target, needs to win HOH. Of course, we have to spoil it with a joke. Some bench presses on that brain. The HOH did not start. That's a huge outcome for the no-betters. Okay. Next prediction. Let's go for who's like the least relevant person to this? What if we go for like a Catherine DR? Do we get a Catherine DR in the next segment? So in the episodes, they're portraying this as Keanu was the person that talked to Rachel after Jimmy left. I think that there is truth to that. But I actually think that the biggest turning point for Rachel and Keanu's relationship was P-Gate. I was thinking about this the other day. That basically what happened is that somebody peed on the floor of the bathroom. Rachel was cleaning it up, annoyed, and said that the guys should have to clean it. And then Kelly went to Keanu and said, hey, Rachel is accusing you of peeing on the floor. And then Keanu went out and confronted her about this. They showed this in Unlocked. Keanu confronted her about it. And she said, I never said that you did it. And Jimmy confirmed that story. Cosmo, thank you for the 9th month. Mickey is the likeliest boot at the moment, yeah. And then Keanu went and apologized and blamed Kelly for the whole situation, basically. And that, I think, was the start of their relationship, like, fully rekindling. How do I only have 16,000 subscribers, but 1,000 are currently watching live? We're getting there, you know. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, you can go ahead and hit the button. We're back. We're back. Anonymous gifter, thank you for gifting a sub.
Drag queen.
Trav, thank you for the 53rd. The lighting in here is so strange. It looks like they're on the set of a sitcom. The party slasher. MJ, thank you for the 6th. So this was the like Demigorgon or whatever it was comp. Nether Gorgon, that's what it was. This is the one Heisem one. Yeah, the hardest week of her life. Vince, I liked you better when you played the middle. That's interesting. A Catherine diary room. This is way better. It's way better that they're locking in first. It takes the athleticism completely out of the competition while still giving the visual of each person going to a room. I don't think they actually went to the DR to lock in. I'm sure they had some other method. I don't know why they're showing them in the DR to lock it in. They should just show them go to the room. In the tub is so funny. Uh... Rachel and Morgan hid in the same room, I think, almost every time. What a different week and quite frankly, season if Morgan wins this instead of Rachel. It's wild how dependent things are on comp wins like this. This is what they should have done the whole time. Just show them go into the rooms. And commercial. All right. Yeah, this is probably one of the best competitions they've done in a while. They're not spending too much time. I mean, you know, like getting the thought process is not as redundant. Like, oh, well, I think I saw more in this room. I think I remember noticing this. We're getting like it's at like a decent pace, and it doesn't really matter that we can't play along, because the like exciting portion of it is seeing them in different rooms and then seeing the rooms light up in red and then being like, oh, this person's out. And obviously we've already talked about this, but like the fact that it's not like a race to see, because basically with the Nether Gorgon one, it was you run to a place and there were only a certain amount of spots in each one. So if you were too slow to get to the place that you knew was correct, you'd still lose. But that's not the case with this one, which I think is way better. Sito, thank you for the 50th month in a row. Tracy, thank you for the 10th. Yeah, Riley really hated this competition. Which is a good indicator that it's a good competition. All right, next prediction. I'm trying to think of first night conversations. There weren't many. All right, we're back. We're back. I'm gonna do. Any mention of Zach? 30 seconds on the prediction. Is there any mention of Zach? Oh man, somebody please make a gif of Mickey reacting to Rachel being HOH. Of course, Kelly starts a chant. Ah, Vince's face too. Oh, Vince is literally like, Rachel. Morgan, I need you to stop lying to my face. You know exactly what you were talking about with the jury comments. Vince literally looks pained. Man, it's almost like, Vince, you should have taken more shots at Rachel and her people when you had the chance. It's funny to me, like, even Vince, like, on a side, not playing the middle, feels like he's playing a role to me. With how much Will is dunking on Mickey, you'd think that he's in the house, like, not agreeing with everything she says, which is not the case. Will is like one of Mickey's biggest hype men. And it's like, Will, I get it, but at the same time, maybe you could have had a little bit of pushback. You know what I mean? Maybe you could be a little bit of a boundary to keep your allies from getting into so much trouble. I mean, when it comes to Mickey, probably smart to not do so, because we know what Mickey does to anybody that dares dissent. But I do think with Ashley, he should push back a bit more. All right, prediction. No mention of Zach, as far as I'm aware, unless anybody caught one that I missed. I did not hear a mention of Zach. Nope. No Zach mentioned. Okay. Next prediction. HOH room. Do we get a who wants to see my HOH room? I don't need to hear the exact words, but what I do need to hear is like the tour of the room. I need the letter, the food, the music. Who wants to see my HOH room? Something along those lines. Obviously, I will not count it if we just happen to have a conversation in the HOH room. Some lopsided predictions going on today. Are Rachel and Lauren still talking? I don't have the feeds forefront. No, she's been talking to Riley for a while. What have they been talking about? I assume just not using the veto. He's telling her to use it? Oh boy. Catherine has literally spent all day trying to convince Lauren to not use the veto. So of course Riley would try to convince her to do it. She sounds like she wants to use it now. Oh boy, this is... If that's true, it's quite a development. All right, we're back. Yeah, I mean, at this point, Rachel can pretty easily nominate Kelly, and it's not that big of a problem. The bigger issue is that Kelly might actually leave, which would be very bad for Lauren. And also bad for Rachel. To some degree. I mean, they're both problems. They're all problems. Definitely worse for Lauren than Rachel. This was actually, this is fun. I feel like it's pretty rare for them to do this, but they really should do it. We got that conversation from both perspectives. Rachel's perspective of Vince and Vince's perspective of Rachel. That's really fun. I think they should do that more often. It only took a few days for Kelly to change her mind. Don't worry. Rachie. Mickey, just remind me, who is HOH right now? I'm just curious. Just curious. All right, we're at a commercial. No HOH room. We could run it back. Or we could do long Mickey, or we'll call it longer Mickey convo. Do we get the longer Mickey convo, the one that happened right before Noms, up in the HOH room, where they are more direct? That is the prediction. Is it in the next segment? It's just especially rich coming from Mickey after what she did to Jimmy, who tried so hard to get her to be real with him, both indirectly and directly, and she refused to speak to him until she was preparing for the ceremony. And here she is not doing any work to speak real to Rachel and is like, I don't like it when people aren't real. So they already kind of set up Morgan, I guess. They could have a Morgan conversation. We could have. It would be funny to have the Mickey conversation with Catherine where she's like, I hope this doesn't intimidate people into not targeting Rachel. And then, of course, the big one is the long conversation between Mickey and Rachel where she's like, come sit next to me. I like the reason I could see that being in the episode is that it was a genuinely vague conversation in terms of what Rachel might do. Like you could easily show that conversation and make it seem like she might not nominate Mickey. So I'd be pretty surprised if they didn't show it, to be honest. Any updates from Lauren? Is she's still talking to Riley? Jeez. All right, we're back. Oh, here it is. Right away. An immediate yes. They're showing the sit by me too. They're showing her explanation for Jimmy, which is I thought it was best for both of us. We're getting receipts? Because Kelly's a wild card who's not really with you. That was a little bit of a mistake from Rachel because Mickey relayed that to Kelly. This we did not see. Can I just say how much I appreciate that from Kelly? It shouldn't be, but it's so rare for a player to just be like, yeah, I messed up. That was my bad. Makes sense. Makes sense. I think that's a relatively genuine edit. I think that there was some consideration to potentially changing the plan. Not seriously, I would say. But I think another reason why Rachel's not too pressed about the veto being used is because she will just put Kelly up on the block. So we'll see. Final DR. Is it Rachel, Kelly, Mickey, Morgan, Vince, Keanu, Will, Ava, or other? Wiley, thank you for the second month. Second month there. I really need to catch up on this this Lauren conversation. If she really is starting to lean toward using it, that really is a pretty significant development. Now, this is Lauren, so it wouldn't surprise me if this is a temporary lean, but the fact that Vince hasn't even had a second go yet is pretty important. I assume though she's gonna talk to Catherine again, who's gonna say no. We're back. We're back. Kelly obviously would say no. There's a lot of obstacles in the way still. Wait, I think I accidentally made this prediction run way too long. So I'm gonna end submissions in about 10 seconds. And ending now. The nomination ceremony. Again, it seems like Rachel really was a little bit back and forth there. If I'm telling you, if Mickey had just admitted fault with the Jimmy stuff, I think there's a real chance she avoids nomination. Woo! Come on, Mickey. There was barely even any passion in that. Mickey was, in fact, the final DR. All right. Okay. That was the episode. I thought that was pretty good. That was a good episode. HOH competition was good. The build up to it was good. It was a lot of straight up strategy happening. There were no like weird filler segments. It also like portrayed all of the events leading into the nominations. It didn't like hide anything, which it's easy to do when it was actually up in the air, but like some good stuff. I liked that they showed the Rachel Vince conversation from two different perspectives. I liked what they showed from the Mickey conversation. All right, hold on. I'm seeing Lauren and Riley talking, and of course, he's in the shower. All right. I don't know. I'm out of the loop. I don't know. Let me just quickly take a look at the votes if Kelly goes up. I'm reasonably certain that Kelly goes home if she stays in the block. Let's say it's Kelly versus Mickey. Ashley votes out Kelly. Let's even leave Ava off the board. We'll even leave Catherine off the board. Lauren votes Kelly. No, she doesn't. Vince votes Kelly. Will. Let's say Will and Ashley will. It's actually not that much of a guarantee. Vince. Ashley, Will, Vince are basically guaranteed votes for Kelly to go. And then Keanu votes Mickey. Ava could also vote Kelly there. That's 4. But oh, Morgan's off the block. Right. That's 5. So you would need Ava to not vote that way. You would need Lauren to vote the opposite of Vince. You would need Catherine and Riley to side with you. That is a pretty significant swing. And it puts Lauren in a bad spot too. Because it is super in her interests to keep Kelly around. And for her to have to campaign against Mickey, against the wishes of Vince, it's just a bad spot. I would assume if she knows Kelly's the replacement, she doesn't use it. I think I trust her enough as a player for her to know that's not a good spot for her. Because she knows Kelly doesn't have the votes. And Vince does. And at the end of the day, Kelly is genuinely more valuable to her than Vince. They're both unreliable. But she can beat Kelly in the finals. Can't beat Vince. Kelly's less capable of betraying her because she doesn't have anywhere to go, whereas Vince does. And I honestly think that Kelly is more loyal to her than Vince is. Not by much, but either way, we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. Of course, she waited this long to start flip-flopping, and her time to decide is going to start to dwindle here. So we'll see. We'll see where things go. I doubt this conversation with Mickey will do much. Either way, thank you for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the watch party. I will, of course, be back for more episodes. But in the meantime, check out the Patreon. I'm going to drop the Australian Survivor versus the World. Sari, Tony, Parvati. Out there playing Australian Survivor. It's a World All-Stars, and it was a very fun first episode. So if you want to see my my videos on that, basically, I've said this before, it's basically this, only you see the episode along with me. Full episode recap or reaction. And we get to like pause and analyze in the moment. So go check it out over there if you are interested. I will I just finished exporting, so I need to upload it as well. I'll probably do that during the podcast. By the end of the podcast tonight, it should be up on Patreon, as long as there aren't any weird issues with YouTube or that wherever I need to upload it. But stay tuned for that. My plan is to have those uploaded same day when episodes drop for Australian Survivor. But I actually don't really know the schedule, so we'll see. This is my Patreon. Link is in the chat. But I appreciate those of you hanging out. And I will see all of you very soon on the RHAP podcast just now. All right. See you later.